Hi guys, it's ALCHEMY. How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. Let's answer the questions that you guys asked in June. I'm a bit late, but sorry about that. There wasn't as many this month. That's not a bad thing. Maybe it'll be good for you guys because the video won't be so long. But let's begin. The first question is from Courtney E. And this was on my April questions and answers video. And she said, if BTS had a fragrance, would you buy it? What's BTS? I don't know what BTS is, Courtney. Maybe you can let me know, I don't know what that is. Anyway, next question. This one's from David Curtis, and this was on my Maid Questions and Answers. What was the last commercially mainstream released perfume that impressed you or blew you away? Also, what advice would you give to someone looking to move to London? From the UK already. Okay, the last commercially released perfume that blew me away. I wouldn't say blew me away, but recently in my recent Smelly Mail video I did, that one, a friend of mine, Margie, sent me 2 Ylang perfumes. I really liked both of them, but the one that's called In White is my favorite. I don't know if it's new or recently released, but I really like it. It's a really nice syrupy orange blossom with some fruity notes. It's got that airport smell, which I usually think is negative, but in this case it works and it's pleasant. So Ylang doing orange blossom is always nice anyway, and this one I just really liked it. I've actually been wearing it in the evenings quite a lot in this warm weather, so that one. Also the Tom Ford Black Orchid Parfum I really liked. I did a video about it, the one in the gold bottle. I don't think it's so much different from the Eau de Parfum version, but I still really liked it. I guess it's Black Orchid. If you like it, you really like it. So that's those two. But other than that, I haven't really smelled many commercial things recently. I've been sampling a lot of things, but not many things that are commercial, and definitely none that have blown me away. But Ylang In White. And advice for someone that's looking to move to London, don't do it. No, I'm only joking. I think amazing. This is going to sound really weird, but I think a lot of it depends on your age. I've lived here my whole life. I was born here. I feel like London is a good place for younger people. I'm not excluding or discriminating against older people. I'm just saying it's very expensive, but it's a great place for career opportunities. It's a great place for partying. It's a great place for meeting new people. That's why older people like myself, I've already made my friends. I've already done my partying. I'm already kind of in the career that I want to be, but it's a great place for opportunity. And living here my whole life, it constantly surprises me. You're always going to find something new. You can't ever get bored. However, it's very expensive. So save up a lot of money and look at where you want to live, because that can, I mean in terms of area, because that can greatly change, I guess, your London experience. I am a North Londoner, I am a Northwest Londoner more specifically. There is a great difference between East London and South. There's kind of this divide where the river goes through and people view them as very different places. My tip to you, depending on what type of person you are, East London is a good place to live if you're a young, 20-something, arty, kind of cool, hipstery type person. But yeah, research the areas, research the crime levels, and just have fun. If you love perfume, there's plenty going on around here with perfume, so good luck with the move. The next question is from Doreen Drost, and it's on my Pure Poison Dior review. Pure Poison and Ylang. Oh, I just mentioned Ylang. Which is better as a wedding fragrance? Both equally beautiful, I think, for a wedding perfume. They both work very well, being that they are centered around white flowers. White flowers, weddings, kind of goes hand in hand. Pure Poison is more gentle. It's the more powdery of the two. It's a little bit more delicate. It's ultra feminine. And Ylang is a little bit more syrupy. My best friend wore Ylang on her wedding. I gave it to her to wear on her wedding, so I will always probably lean a bit more that way. Ylang a gorgeous, elegant orange blossom that isn't overly sweet. It lasts a really long time, so if you're getting married, You don't want to be carrying a bottle around with you when you're, you know, talking to your guest and eating your cake and doing your first dance. Both are equally as beautiful as each other. They just feel a bit different. If you want soft, elegant, or if you want kind of syrupy orange blossom, south of France elegant. Both are great. There's not really one answer for that one. The next question is from GRESP, and this is on my newest version of Rhinoceros for zoologists. I have a question maybe for your June questions. What would Jack the Ripper smell like? I don't know. I don't think he should really get any airtime at all, to be honest, because he was a very evil person that killed lots of women. I don't know. He would smell of pure evil, which is immortel, in my opinion. He'd smell of immortel. I hate immortel. And I hate Jack the Ripper. The next one's from Holly Mulligan. This was on my Maid Questions. Hi Tom, a question for next time. Do you have any perfumes that are challenging because you associate them with a certain person experience, but otherwise you would have probably liked them? I don't really know, not for me. You also said, for me, it's Samsara. Very challenging family member signature. It triggers me negatively, even though it's a gorgeous sensual fragrance and I would love to be able to wear it. Not really, Holly. I always try and associate fragrances with positive things. And if somebody I know, I don't really dislike many people. So, and if there's anyone that I'm not too fond of, I wouldn't really be around them to notice what their signature is or something that reminds me of them. So no, I don't have any horrible exes that wore something that I don't like. So the answer is no, really, but I know that that is a thing for a lot of people, isn't it? There's a lot of people out there that have this association where a horrible boss wore something, or their mother-in-law wears something that they actually like, but they can't. So the answer for me is no, I don't. So yeah, thanks for your question. Oh, Holly Mulligan asked the next question as well, and this was on my Snowy Owl review by Zoologist. Is it just me, or does this have a distinct cucumber feel? Well, Holly, yes it does, and I can tell you why actually. When I did my first impressions of the new Zoologists, I opened them and sniffed them without having smelled them, and it was really exciting. I also picked up cucumber, and Victor has said himself that yes, it does have a cucumber feel because he used a cucumbery molecule or note to represent the feeling of snow. So that's why Snowy Owl has that watery green cucumberiness going on. So your nose is good and you picked it out, so well done to you. The next question is from Jackie Bits. Jackie Bits was a recent giveaway winner of mine. I hope you're enjoying the stuff, Jackie. I hope it's got there because you are far away. So let me know when it gets there. Okay. Quick question for your Q&A. How are you doing this fine day? Did you have a fabulous anniversary? Hope you had a fantastic birthday and hopefully you enjoyed your time off work. If no one has told you lately, you are enough. Thank you for making days smell better with each video. Thank you for sharing yourself with us. You're so kind. That's so nice, Jackie. Oh, I'm actually good. Do you know what? It's probably going to lead me into a little bit of a moan, but I'm not going to bring the mood down, don't worry. Recently, this month and last month in particular, I've really been struggling to find time and energy to do videos. I work quite long days. I'm up early in the morning and I get home at sometimes 8 in the evening. So by the time I've had my dinner and actually sat down, because I stand up all day, I don't really want to do a video. I know that sounds bad, but a lot of elements have to come together for a video to happen. I live in London. I live in a small place with 2 crazy parrots and a partner who works from home. And add on top of that, my days off are very random. I rarely get 2 together. So I do work, single day off, work, single day off. So on those single days off, I'm usually catching up with things that I haven't been able to do because I've been at work, like going to the post office or getting my food shopping delivered, or just anything, heaven forbid, seeing a friend that I haven't seen for a long time. Add on top of that, my partner works from home. There's not much space in here. I have to be in the correct mood. I have to be not tired, which I am from work quite a lot. So I'm just trying to tell you guys that if you do see a gap or an inconsistency in how often I upload, please know I put pressure on myself. It really starts to bother me if I haven't done a video for a while, and I don't want to just push out a video for no reason. I want to do it when I want to and when I feel like I'm in the correct mood, or I've got something I want to talk about, or the birds aren't screeching. Having these single days off is not for me an actual real rest, because I'm always doing a million things on these days off that I haven't been able to do. So doing a video takes half a day as well, so I really have to commit to doing a video on my day off. I'm fine though, I'm great, I'm happy in my job, all of that stuff is good. I am possibly planning to move, so that's really exciting, because if I do, I will have an entire room dedicated to perfume, like a shrine, a YouTube space. It's gonna change my channel forever. But yeah, if I don't upload a video, I feel like everyone's sitting there tapping their fingers waiting. That's my own thing, that's me, that's not you guys. So just know that I have lots of videos I want to do. Time is an issue, and being exhausted is also an issue. Anyway, I'll stop ranting, but Jackie, thank you for asking how I am. I am great. The next question is from James Nash, and it's on my Maid Questions. So let's see what he says, because I've lost it just by looking at this sheet. Great May Q&A as usual, Tom. Well, thanks, James. Happy anniversary and happy birthday. Thank you. Why hasn't any other country, perhaps except Italy, ever really challenged France as the home of so many great fragrance houses? Thanks, James. You always ask very thought-provoking questions, James, and I love it. I don't think it's a case of anyone not challenging France as being the leaders of the perfume world, but France are where everything is steeped in it. Not steeped in it, everything stems from French perfumery. It's kind of like ballet. I remember my best friend Michelle telling me, if you learn ballet as your first dance discipline, it sets you up to be able to do all of the others, because it gives you your core. It's the same as if you can play piano, you can play any other instrument. France are the pioneering country and inventors of groundbreaking things in the perfume world. For instance, the fougère style. If you look at the fragrance wheel and the different categories of fragrance, France invented those things. The fougère, the chypre. So lots of brands can make their own versions of that, but ultimately it comes from France. They invented enfleurage technique. They invented the distillery, I believe. This is only my own thoughts, but they are the leaders, so everything is going to come from that. Add to that, the perfume industry in France is a handed down through generations thing. It's a trade that gets handed down. Take Guerlain, for instance. It's a family thing, and it's always going to be a family thing. So many perfumers in Grasse, it's like it breeds more and more and more. So one guy will hand down to his next son, you know, the business or his skills and his talents. He will teach the next person in line how to be a perfumer and how to run a perfume business, and they will teach their kids. So it's like multiplying. Anyway, there is a flip side to that. I think niche perfumery is challenging French perfumery. French perfumery to me is about citrus, flowers, woods, ultimately. All of these niche perfumes come along. They're niche, they're never gonna be as, you know, overtake France as being the perfume leaders, but they are challenging the French technique of fragrance making. They are using, you know, innovative molecules. We have things now that smell like squid beak and rhubarb and, you know, air and things like that. So this is why I personally like niche. There's always going to be classic French beautiful perfumery, but they're never going to be overtaken because they invented so many of it. The Amber Accord is another thing. You know, they invented, I can't remember who invented the Amber Accord, but it's the basis of Oriental perfumes, so you just can't get away from it. It's like Italians with pizza. You can eat a pizza in Japan, but it's still going to be rooted in the style of Italy. So that's just my 2 cents worth. That is a great question though. Thanks, James. I hope you're doing well. The next question is from Keith Gray, and this was on my discoveries and disappointments. Agree with you about Baccarat Rouge, really don't like it. Have you tried Ylang Ylang by Lorenzo Villoresi Firenze? I think it's beautiful. I have not tried it, but I am trying to still find a great Ylang Ylang perfume, Keith. Haven't found it yet. The next one's from Maria BKL, also on that same video. Have you ever tried the new Omnia by Mary Katranzu? If you haven't, could you? I would like to have your opinion. I have not tried it. I've not even heard of that one. If you'd like to send me a sample, I will talk about it in a video. Next one's from Miss Felly. Hi Tom, question for May. What are your feelings towards dupe and inspired houses? I personally prefer the real thing because I just respect the amount of work that goes into creating a fragrance, but I'm keen on your thoughts. I have multiple feelings about that, and I'm probably going to contradict myself when I say it. The only time I would ever buy a dupe of a fragrance is if it is something that is long discontinued and you just can't find it anymore. I did it with the Fendi perfume. I did purchase one from a place called the Perfume Parlor. I don't agree with dupe houses piggybacking off of the success of a perfume that already exists, like Aventus clone. What's kind of even worse is an already established brand that has their own line that just surreptitiously slips a dupe in there and hopes that no one really talks about it. There's a few I can think of. How many Santal 33 dupes are there that aren't a company that make dupes, if that makes sense? How many Aventus clones are there out there that, because it's one of the most successful perfumes of the modern age, everyone's thinking, okay, and it's really expensive, let's just take that formula and let's just try and, you know, siphon off some of that cash. I don't agree with that. I do think it's okay though if somebody can't afford these very expensive perfumes and that's your only option. So like I said, I have very mixed feelings about it, but everything's personal. I also like the real thing. I like the bottle. I like to appreciate the artistry that that perfumer intended it for. So yeah, that's my opinion. I don't know, it's a tricky one. I don't like blatant copies. I've been contacted on Instagram by brands that say, hey, are you interested in trying our fragrances? And I immediately go, yay, okay, I want to. And then I look them up and it's a Terry Mugler copy, it's an Aventus copy, it's a Santal 33 copy. And what am I reviewing? I'm reviewing a fragrance that somebody's already done the hard work on. So I always say, sorry, I don't review dupe houses. So that's my opinion. There are good sides and bad sides to it. Like I said, if it's something that's like a vintage that you cannot get anymore, like if, say for instance, a Midnight Poison dupe came out, I would probably be inclined to buy it if it was a good one. So yeah, mixed feelings, but great question. The next one's from Nadima, and it's also on that video. Oh, I like these types of videos. Great content, thank you. On a side note, you see what I did there? Do you like tea fragrances or do you have some fave tea fragrances? I do like tea fragrances. I do. I also like fragrances that have notes that smell like tea as well, like Champaca or Clary Sage to me smells like tea. So the tea fragrances that I have two in my collection. One is an extremely gothic dark fragrance. It's called Via Armis and it's by Beaufort London. It's a black tea with a lot of smoke and opium and brandy, I think, or maybe whiskey and pepper, and it's incredibly gothic and difficult to wear. I didn't wear it all last year, but I really like it. The other one is a fragrance by Pierre Guillaume and it's called Foudre, and it has Champaca in it as well as tea and pepper. It's a much lighter springtime perfume, but yes, I do really like tea in perfume. I think it's a lovely note, and there are so many different variations. I've smelled fragrances that have Lapsang Souchong, I've smelled black tea, green tea, mint tea, jasmine tea. I've tried lots of different ones. The two that I have are the ones I mentioned though. So thank you for your question. The next one is from Natalia Dagger, and this was on my Knee magazine, the most recent one I did, issue 7, I can't remember. Gosh, that magazine looks fascinating. It absolutely is. I recommend getting it. It's the perfume lover's dream. I keep saying that. For your next monthly question vid, do you know of any perfumes that are similar to Sahara Noir by Tom Ford, or any that smell as churchy? I love that scent so much and have a decant from a friend's bottle, but alas, you know what happened to that gorgeous scent. Yes, I do. It got discontinued, see? And this would make me inclined to try and find a dupe of it because it's that good. Luckily I have it, but I know a lot of people like it and can't get it. In terms of churchy, there are a lot. I've never smelled a fragrance quite like Sahara Noir. It is the exact smell of cathedral incense. It's to a T, to the point where I went into a cathedral in Nice, in south of France, and I thought I was smelling Tom Ford Sahara Noir. That's how weird what happened in my brain in that split second. But some of the best incense perfumes, I did a whole video about incense recently. It's a very tricky subject because it's not one thing. But ultimately, Sahara Noir, no. I would try and track down some fragrances that have a very prominent myrrh note though, because myrrh is quite heavy in that perfume. There's a great fragrance, but it's quite expensive, sorry. It's called Lavs and it's by Unum, an Italian avant-garde brand, and yes, it's pricey, but it's, I would say, the next best churchy thing I've ever smelled. It's got coriander in it, it's got a bunch of frankincense. It's amazing. Try and get a sample first though, because it's not a cheap perfume. I don't smell fragrances like Sahara Noir on the commercial market that often, so I do have to kind of think about niche when I think about stuff like that. But Unum by Lavs by Unum, sorry, great one. Second to last question is from Perambulation. It's also on my knee magazine. Surprised no one asked, what games do you play? I am a gamer. I am obsessed with my PlayStation. This is one thing that I also try and do on my day off, but I never really get around to it because when I put it on, the birds screech and I go out. It's a whole thing. I love so many different kinds of games. I'm not really into first-person shoot-em-up games. I like open world. Assassin's Creed is my favorite franchise of games, but then I also really like whimsical games. Like, there's a series of games called Oddworld, really cool platform game. One of the best games I've ever played is called What Remains of Edith Finch, and it was way too short. I wish it was longer. It's a girl walking around this kind of creepy place and all of her family have died because they're all cursed and they each die in a very weird storytelling, whimsical way, and you get to witness them dying and you get to play them dying, which is very strange. Absolutely fantastic. And yeah, anything that's just that little bit different. But in terms of, yeah, open world, I love Assassin's Creed, and I'm currently playing Red Dead Redemption 2 and trying to learn what the hell's going on in that one. It's very big. But I love my gaming. So yeah, thanks for that question. And the last question is from Rich Mitch, and this was on my Sarah Jessica Parker's Stash review. Have you tried Pavarotti Pour Homme? I did not know that Pavarotti had a fragrance out. Is it Pavarotti the singer's perfume, or is it a perfume called Pavarotti? What on earth would the notes be? I have not tried it, Rich Mitch. Do you have a sample? Would you like to send me one? I'm just gonna say that all the time now. People always say, can you review this? Can you review that? I have to try and have it first before I can do anything. So, yeah, I have not tried Pavarotti perfume, but I'm gonna look it up immediately after turning the camera off. Anyway, guys, that is my questions and answers for June. I don't even know what month we're in, July. So yeah, I'll do this again next month for the questions that get asked this month. I have plenty more things to do. I just have to try and find the time. Please bear with me. It's really tough at the moment. Anyway, I hope you guys are enjoying your day. It's beautifully sunny in London. Okay, bye guys.